There we go. We should be live. How is everybody? If this is live. Ah, there we go. It's counting. It says we're live. We're ready to rock. Let's do this. I do this horrible thing when I go live that I don't know when it's live. So I'll say and do weird things at the beginning of it. And yesterday, doing a training for the mastermind, I was singing some weird song and talking bad about myself at the beginning. Didn't think it was live, and then when someone said something on the replay, I went and I was like, "Oh my god, you hear this?" So I didn't love that, and I learned that yesterday that happens. So now I will not say anything when I think it's not live because the replay plays more than the live does. So that was a lesson learned. But I'm excited to come to you all today. This is one of my favorite things I get to do. I get to talk to you about someone that's in what we call the family. It's Unleash You Now Mastermind, and we get to talk to them and get to know them and talk life and real shit and have progress and real conversations that I think push the boundaries of us to expand who we are so we can grow into better people. And there's few, if any, better people than this person I'm going to talk to today. I was super excited when we got to work out this date. If you know her, you love her. If you don't know her, you don't know her to love her or not, but you should. I always say the only people that don't like her, they don't know her. She is amazing. She is a girl on fire. I know this because she has that song play sometimes. And she definitely makes me and the community she's part of better because she's part of it. I could tell you all the accolades she has about not just having a show, but hosting a whole network that hosts shows. Right? She puts her people on. She's had numerous events, in person and virtual. She does a 24-hour hope-a-thon where literally she stays live for 24 hours straight and brings you some phenomenal speakers and stories. She has lived 17,000 lives in her life. Right? But one of the stories that I absolutely love about her was the first time I got to meet her was in Nashville, Tennessee. It was at one of our events called Moonmaker Live. And I snuck down to the bar in the middle of the event to have a shot during one of the breaks. And I looked and I thought no one was there. And I turned to the one side and there she's sitting there and just waving at me. And I'm like, oh, hey, right? Thinking I ruined something or something. She's going to be like, look at this guy. And she's like, Michael, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's next. But whatever it is, I'm in. And why I love that story is because it showed her commitment to her heart, to her purpose, to her mission, even if she didn't necessarily see it or know what it is, that she was going to take the step. And when I heard that, I was like, I need to know this woman and have her in my life because that kind of faith, right? To have that kind of strength to take the step no matter what, that's a beautiful thing and it's rare. I want those people around me because they inspire me. So without further ado, this woman that inspires me deeply, let's welcome Elena Rodriguez to the stage.
Yay! Hello, man.
What's up?
That makes me sound like pretty cool. What you just told people is that I was sitting at a bar by myself having drinks.
I didn't say the drink part. You're having dinner.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
thank you, Elena, for taking time out of your life to be here with us.
Oh, thank you so much. Honestly, this is exciting. It's exciting to see you in the driver's seat interviewing me, and I'm loving it. Let's go.
Awesome. Literally already people are chiming in. I'm Elena Rodriguez beloved. She's a grace and friend. I'm so grateful to be engaged. All right. And what's up, Roxy? Roxy's in the house. She's part of the Blue and Green too. She also has a show on the network I was speaking of that I'll let Elena do that justice. I won't butcher it for you. And but really, I just appreciate you being here, taking the time. You're a busy woman. You're always going. You inspire me to go. All right. You are literally the definition of taking action, right, in real time. I never really have to say go for it. You're already going for it. So it's beautiful to watch, and it's inspiring so many. And you give so many a platform to share their story and their voice and what it's about. So absolutely love that. Love you. But I know you, right? By the grace of God, I got to experience you for years, right? But for someone that might be seeing this that doesn't know you as well as I do, can you tell them who you are, what you're about, how you got to this point so we can start this?
Yeah, for sure. That might take a few minutes. But like Michael said, I'm Elena Rodriguez, and I literally owned a fitness studio for 14 years and had never worked for anyone until I was like 40 years old. So entrepreneurship is in my blood. I grew up with it. It's what I know. And then all of a sudden my world started falling apart. And I'm like, I've never worked for nobody. What do I do? So prime example, sometimes you have to start at the bottom and work your way up, and that's exactly what I did. But how I got here is I ended up joining John Maxwell team like years ago. I realized a corporate world working for a boss was just not the thing for me, and I needed to do my own thing. And so I joined that, but then realized very quickly I still got to do my own thing. And that's really, I think, how Michael and I just randomly connected on Facebook like years ago. But here's the thing about me is I am all about my faith. So when God starts whispering ideas to me, whether they make sense or they're scary or they seem crazy, well, I go for it. So I had started praying to God that I needed team, I needed community. I was in a really, really dark place in my life. I was a grown woman who had experienced becoming a widow at 44 years old. I had lost all my money. I had lost everything, and I had two sons. And we went into like COVID shutdown. So it just was looking worse and worse. And I hit knuckles. I don't even know what you call that, knuckles to the grind, or I don't know, however you want to say it. I had to crawl my way and build myself virtually because I had no job. I had no husband. I had nothing, but I had two kids in the house. I had to figure it out. And so as I started building virtually, I took all the skills that I had from having a fitness studio, and I had to get creative. And how do I apply that into coaching, and coaching from Zoom in my room while my heart is like breaking and I'm scared every single day. And I really realized at that point I was so broken and I was so isolated, but I knew, God, I need community. Like I need to be surrounded by people who get me. And let's be honest, most of the times your closest friends and family, they just don't get when you are like going to follow your dream. They don't get it. So I knew I just needed community that would get me, that would believe in me, that wouldn't judge me, that could handle my tears as well as my joy. And I just started praying for that. That's all I can say, as I was just like, God, I just need team, and I need community. And all of a sudden, me and Michael don't know each other very well, but I'm like on my beanbag because I didn't even have a couch. I'm on my beanbag watching a movie with my two sons, and in comes this message from Michael talking about this thing that he's doing in Nashville, and you can tell he's trying to explain it to me. I didn't even read it. I just said, I'll be there. What do I need to do? And so that was the first step. I signed up. I blocked my calendar, and I'm like, I'm going to be there. I didn't even know how much it was. I didn't know what we were doing. I just was like, yes, I'm going to be there, because guys, and Michael, you can cut me off anytime, but guys, what I'm going to say is I actually can recognize when God is answering your prayer, whether you understand it or not. And if I had been praying for team and community, and all of a sudden this guy comes in that we've been connected with for a little while, but never really talked that much, and he's saying, hey, I have this thing, it's about community, we're all family, like we're going to be there, why would I say no? Like, why would I be like, God, this is what I've been praying for, but I don't really know if this is it. So that was step one of saying yes. I just went. I didn't know nobody. I drove myself. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. And then I'm in there in the day one, meet some people. I meet Vinny, his mama, and I just already felt comfortable. And I just knew. I've been in a lot of business spaces. I've been in a lot of events, and I just knew the energy was different. And so we broke, and I went to the bar by myself. Because again, I didn't know nobody. I'm naturally an introvert. I've come out of a toxic relationship. I have like no money. My life is falling apart, but I'm there with a smile. So I'm going to sit at the bar by myself. I'm just going to eat my food, have my drink. And then I look over, And that's when and then Michael's there, and I had to say, look, I don't know what's coming next, because let's be honest, there's always an offer, there's always something next. And I said, whatever it is, my answer is yes, because God has answered my prayer through you. And that's honestly where it's all started.
Man, I'm glad it happened. Normally I'm a horrible DMer. I'm glad I was all right that night. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
Normally
yep.
I mess those things up, make it real awkward. But
Yeah.
I'm glad I was there and did the right thing at the right time.
Yeah. Well, maybe it worked. I didn't read it. I just said yes, I'll be there. What is it?
Thank you, guy. Got me out of my way. You know what I mean? Gotta give a big shout out to Sierra, Granda, Justin Danforth, Vinny, my mom in the house. I'll send some love jumping in here. So meeting you that day, to seeing you from that point to this point's absolutely insane, right? Like, you're like, I'm an introvert, I really don't do much, and I'm just sticking to myself and I'm just trying to figure my way out here. Life really lifed at that time, right? And you're like, now I'm going to jump in and do this thing. And now to see where you are now, where you're like hosting events, right, in person and online, where you're helping other people get on stages, get published. You're getting on stages as well, right? Where you're hosting networks, your own show, but also hosting other people's shows. Like, it's absolutely insane the amount of things you're doing, right? To see that, I love it because it shows it's possible.
Yeah.
Right. Like, your life shows it's possible. Yeah. So I absolutely love what you're doing, what you're about, and how you're doing it. And one of the things I absolutely love, which I was lucky to get, which other people can be lucky to get as well, right, is this beautiful bad boy, right? The Crowned by Faith, your book, right, that just came out. This book is insane. Can you tell us, like, what inspired you to write this and put this out there, thinking that this is the time this was needed the most?
Yeah, no, it's crazy because, like Michael says, yeah, I do a lot of different things, and it's really to highlight other people because I know what I needed at the time and it wasn't available. So let's build it. Let's create it, right? And so, to be honest, with this book, Crowned by Faith, it's technically my third book. Okay. I did Broken Stronger first. I started that Broken Stronger book like 8 weeks after I became widowed. And I look back at it and I'm kind of like, let me hide. That, it served its purpose. It let me focus somewhere. And then when I was going to do another book, it was called Surrender to Rise. And that's when I was like, nah, this is for other people. This is a chapter book. So I have a book series that I let other people be authors, in it, writing chapters. But then this third book, Crowned by Faith, literally it came as a joke. All right. You might not even know this. Just this past July, the very last week of July, we took a girls' family trip with my aunt, who's like, my oldest aunt is in her 80s, down to my like youngest cousins. And we just do a girls' trip. And we were out at the lake and I'm having my beer and we're all having cousin time. And, you catch up with family and you want to know what's going on. And, some of them still didn't know about everything that had happened when I really lost everything. So we got into this conversation and I was like, girl, I need to write a Broken Stronger 2.0. And it was a joke. It was kind of like, shit, like you don't even have a clue really what was happening at that time. And then I got home and then I started thinking, Broken Stronger 2.0. It's okay, God, it's not leaving my mind. And then all of a sudden he said, that is behind you. You need to like see where you are today. And here's what we're doing. And so here comes Crowned by Faith. And guys, when I say it was just a joke, the beginning of August, and the book and a whole soundtrack that I had no idea I was even going to produce was released by October 1st. Like freaking nuts. I didn't sleep. There were nights I'm like a ball baby. It was such a breakthrough. And God just said it's time. And so it started as a joke. And I, again, listened to the assignment, and here we are today.
You do an amazing job of just listening and taking the steps.
Yep.
Also, so far, getting through how much I've got through so far, it's an amazing testament.
Thank you.
And inspiring, to say the least. So I really appreciate you taking the chance and doing that. Plus, with the soundtrack, that's so crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's real different.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
different. Yeah, we're on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube Music. I'm going to say this because this will just tell you, just do the things that seem freaking crazy. I've made $1.65 off YouTube.
Let's
YouTube
go.
Music, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was going to be a thing. So hey, come
Let's
on.
go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Even the littlest things, but taking a step where you don't even see something came from it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Plus the amount of people that have been inspired by it, motivated by it, moved by it.
Yeah.
I saw you sending out a bunch of copies. I got a signed copy.
Yes.
All right. Real quick, if someone wanted to get that, where could they go?
Go to crownedbyfaithcollective.com. That's got all my stuff on it, and it's easy.
Beautiful.
The link is there. It says there's a button that says get the book, and it'll just take you to order the book. The book is not available on Amazon book. Like, it's not available on platforms. It's only through me because I want to touch everyone. I want to sign everyone.
Oh, I love that.
But then also, I know that there would be people out there that would want to just buy it because they were nosy, because I dive in and I'm like, nah, I'm going to know every single person that buys that book, because there's some gritty stuff in there that people might just want to be nosy. And well, you can be nosy,
amazing.
but I'm going to know that it's you.
I love that. I love that. You're going to buy it through me.
Yeah.
That's great. Also, like, well-made book, well put together, hard book, hard copy.
Yes,
right.
It's a hardback
I love
book.
it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's on. I only have selective space on this bookshelf, and it's on it.
Good.
Right. So thank you very much for letting me be one of the ones that get it. At least I made the list of I can get it. Right? So you do so much, right? Like, and you have your hand in so much, right?
Yeah.
And you really serve others to get their voice out there, their story out there, their impact out there. One of the things I love about you is your heart, right? You have a servant heart, right? What is, like, you do a bunch of things, but they all come together for the mission. What's the mission?
The mission, number one, is to be seen in your calling. Okay. The hardest part about when I talk about, listening to God, many times you will go through something in your life that could destroy you. But if God pulls you through, chances are you're now wanting to do something with that. Chances are you're looking at the opportunity to start a business of your own and things like that. But it doesn't mean you know how. You just know you're called to this thing that sometimes doesn't make sense. So the first thing that I say I do is I help you be seen in your calling. And the second thing that I do that's probably most important is I make faith make sense when life doesn't. And so when you can put those pieces together and say you're trying to get your message out, that's really what you need. Based on my fitness studio business days, you need eyeballs on you. You need to accumulate people. You need to always be bringing people into you. And so I've created those platforms to do that, whether it's in a chapter, whether it's speaking on my stage, whether it's showing up on our shows. Like, you've got to get in front of people, period. Because it doesn't matter how good your stuff is or how much you're building or doing. If people aren't hearing you and they're not seeing you, it really doesn't matter. So, and I know that. And back in the day, nobody wanted to pay me any mind because I was just starting out. So I created my own. And I thought, well, if you're not going to interview me and you're not going to put me on your stage, if I'm not, going more bankrupt because I didn't even have money at the time anyway, it's like, if you're not going to do it for me, then I'm just going to build my own. But I'm never going to forget how hard it was. And now I just try to create opportunities to help other people be seen. And Christmas in July Streamathon is one of those. It's free. People are still like, how are you doing that for free? It's free because it's all about goodness. We got Jingle All the Way, Online Small Business Expo coming up Saturday, where a small business will be highlighted for 30 minutes just to share what they do, just to share an offer. We got the show host. To me, it's all about just being seen in that calling, because ultimately that's what God needs to happen to be able to reach more people. And when he told me, just bring people to me, I'll take it from there. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's get creative and figure out how do we do that. And that's really what I do.
I love that. I also love that you said, like, because, if you're in the space for any period of time, when you first get in it, and for a while, people don't really want to put you on.
Yeah.
Until you have something that builds either credibility and authority in them, or you're going to fill seats.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what people are putting you on for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if you don't do those two things in this space, you're most likely having to pay for the space.
Yep.
Right. Because you're not bringing what is valued by the person who hosts the space, is the business part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, and I was in the same boat as you. It was like, all right, this guy with a backwards hat and a beard, or sweats most days, right? Look like he might be homeless. Says he talks about business and messaging. All right. Like, yeah, right, buddy. And it was like, all right, we have to go build our own.
Yep.
Right. And we have to build our audience. We have to build our platforms and our stages. And one thing I love about you is you do what we believe is like, because we did that, we know what it's like. We're going to give other people the opportunity. They're not going to have to fight like we fought.
Yeah.
We're going to give them the opportunities. And that's awesome. So you said something where I really want to dive in a little bit to. You said about the people that are like hesitant to stepping in purpose and mission, right? And stepping in faith. Mm-hmm. For the people out there that are like, feel like they're called to something more, or just feel like they know the next step, or they know there is one that they're supposed to take, might not know exactly what it is, but they have that fear of taking it that's holding them back. Mm-hmm. What do you tell that person that's hesitating taking that step for them or their mission or their cause or their heart or their love, whatever it is, and hopefully inspire them to take that step?
Two things. The first thing is, what's the worst thing that can happen? Okay. I kind of live by that mantra. When I say like I lost everything, I remember one evening thinking, okay, you're going to lose your home. Like you're literally going to lose your dream home. And I had already lost 50 acres of land. I had already lost a $45,000 cabin. Like I had lost everything. And now I was facing losing my home. And I remember sitting there saying, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? And I called my mom and I said, if this happens, can me and my sons move in? And she said, absolutely. Absolutely. You have somewhere to go. So worst case scenario no longer scared me. I put a plan in place. And you know what happened? I lost my home. But I almost then felt relieved, because it's like, okay, now I know my next step. Let's pack up. Let's figure it out. Let's start again. So that's the first thing that I like to ask people is what really is the worst thing that can happen? Not the little ego worries, but like what's really the worst thing that can happen? And if you can face what is the worst thing and kind of put a plan in place just in case, then it really has no power over you, because you know there's an answer beyond that. And sometimes it doesn't even happen. But if it were to happen, you already have something in place. And so that's what I did. So that's the first thing. The other thing that I live by is, if there is that crazy idea, let's try it and see what happens. Okay. I love let's try it. See what happens. You never know. You might end up doing something completely different, but you're never going to get there if you don't maybe take that one extra step. So that's kind of in my mind every day. Let's try it. Let's try it. See what happens. In fact, I left you a message not too long ago that said, hey, I'm trying this thing out. We're going to see what happens. It's either going to be great or I'm going to lose my ass. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. It'll collect data. I'll know what to do next time. So that's really like kind of how I live my life. But the main thing for somebody that really feels that tug in their gut, my question to you is, all of us have minutes that are going to run out. And I stay in that dark space. I don't live in that dark space, but when you've been faced with death in your face, you know, like your minutes are going to run out. You can be here for breakfast and you can be gone by lunch. And I know this. So I always like to think that if that dream is tugging at you and that dream is pulling at you, even if you don't quite know what it looks like yet, but you're in your last minutes and that dream comes to you and it says, why didn't you do anything with us? Why we came to you over and over. Why didn't you ever pay attention to us? And I don't ever want dreams to be able to say that, not to me, not to anybody. And I always say I want my dream to be able to be like, dang, look at this one. We belong to her. She did more with us than we ever thought possible. Like, I'm like, yeah, I would rather have that last breath knowing I was still trying to breathe life into my dream than to show up at God's doors and say, like, nah, I just wasted it all. I won't do that. I refuse to do that. And so if somebody is called, that tug in their gut, talk to people that can understand that, reach out to people who you see doing things, because we're not going to look at you crazy. We're going to say, all right, what's the very next thing that we need to do to make that happen? And we're going to cheer you on. And that's what keeps me going every day.
All right. You reminded me, you spoke at an event a couple years ago, Move Maker Live. It was 2024. And Trent Shelton spoke there. Mm-hmm. And you reminded me of something that you both talked about in ways that day, where it was like, let's find out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, worst case scenario is we're going to find out. Yeah. And then we can move and adjust and adapt from there.
Yep.
All right. And I think we could worry about the what ifs all day, mm-hmm. but we won't know until we do something, and then we can adjust from there.
Yep.
And like the story of your life is nothing's final. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Until it's over, nothing's final, right? And we've seen you get knocked down and build, and get knocked down and rebuild, and get knocked down and build. And no longer have you built for you; you've built for other people to have opportunities and chances as well, which is huge, right? So if, let's say, someone's back where you were, mm-hmm. their life is really kicking them, right? You can fill in the blank there. I G-rated myself because I'm talking to you. Right. The life's really beating them up a little bit right now. Some hard knocks, right? And they don't know how to keep going, right? Or if to keep going, right? They're really in their head. What is something that you think they just need to hear and believe and see again that they're not seeing right now?
That pain that they're feeling, that's their source of power. A lot of times people will say pain to purpose. I hear that all the time. Pain to purpose. And I think that's BS. We all have pain, but not everybody's living their purpose. They're not. Pain holds incredible power. And so it's a power to propel you forward and do things that you never imagined, that you didn't think you had the strength for. Pain is that powerful. It will give you that strength. But it also is that powerful to hold you back every single day for the rest of your life. It has that power. And my encouragement to somebody that is feeling in that space that's very, very dark, that could be extremely painful, their heart could be aching, it could be emotional, it could be physical, mental, spiritual, like whatever pain that is, I would help them look at it as that source of power and ask them, like, this is a gift. This space that you are in right now is a gift because it's actually changing you. But we can do something good with it, or you can just choose to let it destroy every single day. And so I like to help people look at that ugly, that dark, that place that doesn't make any sense, and actually see it as a gift. That at some point, if they just keep going one day, one breath, one next minute at a time, it will make sense, and they will come out the other way. But to me, like I said, I'm a faith person. So if somebody doesn't even have that little tiny glimpse, they might look at me and think I'm just full of shit. And you can't convince somebody, you can't change somebody's mind. But I can tell you that if somebody has a little whisper of hope, a little, like, they might not trust anything beyond, what is happening in this moment, but maybe, just maybe, they'll trust me a little bit, then that's enough. And we can do that a little bit at a time. But I look at pain. I look at these mistakes, these, how did I get here again kind of moments as a gift, because this powerful. I mean, it holds a lot of power, and it helps encourage you to do things that you never would have been able to do, like, by yourself on your own. I would just say, take that moment that you're in right now as a gift, because chances are God is working something through your life in his way. It's not our way, and it will only come out to serve you better in the end.
Mm, I love that. Great. It was almost like I gave you that question ahead of time, even though I didn't. It was a great answer. Killed me. I was like, I felt like you were talking to me at some point. So I was like, oh my God. It's like writing something down when you were saying that. I was like, this is good.
Oh.
Right.
I get passionate.
It's a writer downer. I love
I get passionate. So
it. I love it. So I want to go from there. You talked a lot about like hearing what's happening inside you, that voice that plays inside you, right? Like we call it God, but whatever you call it, universe, tree, dirt, like I don't care. I'm really getting to that. Yours is yours, right? So how do you quiet life down to hear that and know that's what you're hearing?
For me, it's usually when I get out of alignment that he kicks me in my booty. Because let's be honest, none of us can stay in that space all the time. I'm not a saint. I'm not an angel. I have my FU moments and my temper tantrums, right? So I get in that space where I start focusing more on the result and the outcome, and then anxiety kicks in, and then I start doubting myself. Like that happens to me quite a bit, and he'll usually shut me down or put me in check in some way, shape, or form. Now, people don't recognize this if they're not looking for it. People might think they just get sick, or people might think like the answer's no, or a door closes. I look at that. I take everything as where is this guiding me? So, or what am I supposed to learn from it? So really everything in my life I feel is happening intentionally. So I know that when I get kind of scatterbrained, stressed out, trying to force the outcome that I want, that a thing that happens to me is I will develop a lot of clutter around me. My office gets messy. And that's the first indication that he's given me. Like he's told me, look for that. When you feel scattered, you're starting to take control. And I don't do very good in control. So with that surrender, I have just learned that how I feel emotionally, when I start getting anxiety, when I start worrying, when I start getting angry, when I start feeling like I'm moving at a rapid pace, that he's getting ready to speak to me, because I'm like that child that has to get put in timeout and remember what I did or what I started, and that's when I can hear him. Then he'll sit me down, and then I just hear it. I don't know. That's just maybe a gift to me. But I'm just like everybody else. I'll throw my tantrums. I'll try to force an outcome. I'll try to doubt myself if I get so many no's or people don't want to sign up. Like I'm just like everybody else. But I've just learned to take my discipline and try to learn from it. So it doesn't happen as often, but it does happen.
Right. I was talking about something. Yesterday, and you actually came up, and we ended up making a video about it. And you do this phenomenally, right? Like one of the best I've seen do it. It's like one of your superpowers. And I think it's necessary to have a chance to win. The people that do this the most often, they find the way to win the most, right? And you show up, right? Like I've seen you sick, show up. I've seen you like need surgery and show up. I've seen you have to move and show up. Right, like literally move houses. Right, like I've seen you going through real life situations that were heavy, and you still showed up. Right, and typically I'm like I can gauge who's going to win pretty easily up front. Who shows up, how they show up.
Yeah.
Right, showing up is the first part. If you don't show up, I don't think you can win.
Yeah.
Second part, it's how you show up. Do you show up just for yourself? Do you show up for others? Do you show up to serve? Do you show up to take? Right? I can kind of see that, and I know how it's going to play out. I probably know how your business is doing. I probably know how your community is doing, right? And I probably know if I want to be part of it or not pretty quickly just by those two things, right? So for you, you show up so damn much for so many people. It's amazing. It's inspiring. Like I said, you have a way of inspiring. If you were to like say, what do you think are some of the keys for winning at this thing, for making a run at the life you want, the person you want, right? The outcome you want. What are like one or two, or how many you want to say, of the things that you think someone needs, or the best odds to make it where they want to be?
Well, you nailed showing up. Showing up is number one. Number two is nobody wants, the fake is not going to last. Okay. When God told me stop living plastic, that was years ago, and that meant many things, but stop living plastic. So to me, life, like, we're all human beings. Life is life, and life is hard. We all deal with money. We all deal with relationships. We all deal with our weight and our health. Like, we all do. So I don't care how pretty, how picture perfect you can come out. You're still dealing with the same stuff behind the door. But to connect with your people, if you really want to make a difference for others, you got to show that side, because that's what we're living. The people on the other side of the screen, that's where they are. So if you come out like, my life is perfect, I got no problems, I never shed a tear, everything is grand, well, they're not going to connect with you. They're going to feel like you're some entity that's like way out here that could never be reached. And if you're really truly there for your people, is that what you want? Do you want that big disconnect? So number one, you do have to show up. Good, bad. I call it my hot mess days. I'm just a hot mess today, and I'm coming out here anyway. Some of those days are the best days. Some of those days are the best days to connect with people. But number two, if you aren't willing to bet on yourself, why would anyone else bet on you? If you're not willing to take the risk, to go all in, to try the things, to, explore and experiment, if you're not willing to do that for yourself, how could you go ask somebody to do that for you? You can try, but it's probably not going to work very well. And so for me, honestly, the start of all of this transition for me, when people are like, well, she's everywhere right now. Oh, I am everywhere. I've already warned my people this week. I'm going to be in your face. I'm going to be in your face like this whole month. So either unfollow me, or like, I'll see you one of these times. But the thing is this didn't just start. Like, 2018, 2018, I mean, probably before that, probably like 2014, actually. But one of the things that I can say made a difference was I did share the journey of, after my husband had his heart attack, and then him dying on Christmas Eve. For 25 days, he was in ICU, and I shared that journey. But I actually encourage people to pray, like, that it was still in God's hands, and I'm willing to take whatever God delivers. And when I say God is my God, he's my grand overall designer. So I'm with you, whoever that is for your people, like, it is. But I was that real and raw from the very beginning, that this really sucks. And then I don't know what my life is going to be. I've lost everything. And sometimes people just need to see that. And they need to know that they're not alone, because we all feel these things. But if you're trying to build something impactful, number one, you are the person that starts working for other people. It might be your business, but you're working for other people, or you got no business. So put your people first, be real, but you got to show up every day, and you got to be willing to look like a hot mess and be okay with it. That's it.
Oh, you were speaking my language. I love it. James said, "What's up?" I think he called me and you Queens.
Hey.
James said, "What's up?" Lauren said, "What's up?" Tim said, "What's up?" So a lot of people here. Our man Christian Martinez is here. It's the face of a powerful thing. All right. You said something that's so true, and I always talk about when someone says, "How'd you build this?" All right. It's the part that the smart people miss. I said, like, I don't ever call I failed third grade, right? So I'm not going to come out here and tell you I'm brilliant, right? But they miss this part, and it's so simple. It's care. Care about your people, right? You know how you show up for the live, show up for your people, right? Check in, tap into the community, right? Tap into the people and see what they're going, and see how you can see what position you're in, and help them.
Yep.
Right? It's a lot of people at the end of the year, we will talk about right? What he's trying to defend his response now. Um, he said, "I'm not. I guess I'm not that. I'm not at your level. I'm just Michael. You're the queen. I'm the court jester, right? You're the queen of the court. The it's if you care about your people will care about you,
Mhm.
right? But you can't fake that long,
Mhm.
right? That's pretty identifiable pretty quickly,
Yep.
right? That if you really care or not, you won't be able to fake caring for years. I mean, there'll be at some point, right? Some of the really, I guess, great fakers can, but most of them you'll be able to see things, and if you want to pay attention to them or not, it's up to you. But
Yeah.
you'll be able to see things where it's like, oh, this person only cares for this. And one of the things I love about you, and I want people to know about you, is that like you worked hard to build yours for others to have an opportunity to, right? And that is like one of the most unselfish acts you could do is take that hard work of building this, because it's hard work building your audience over and over and over, right? And showing up repeatedly, like you said, even when a hot mess days, right? And being real about it, right? There's a lot of people like AI has created the fake got faker and more enhanced, right? And it's like it's harder and rarer to find real these days. All right. People are having events where all the speakers are just AI'd.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like, what's the point of this? It's a robot telling me a story. I can just Google it. Right. It's insane to me how fast and far that's going. Used to preach the things that aren't going to help people move forward.
Yeah.
Right. I had one guy was like, let me show you how I'll rebuild everything from scratch with 1 million followers. Typically, when you're rebuilding something from scratch, you don't have 1 million followers. So this might not be extremely helpful for the person actually doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that you talked about that and have done that in your life. You live it by example. Right? Like they don't have to hopefully figure out by the signs and words you use if you're talking truth. You showed it by your actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And you're like us, and you are us. So it makes sense that at the end, your brag every year, your brag isn't what you've done, even though you've done amazing things. Your brag is how many other people had the opportunity to take the step in their life and their business and their movement and their mission.
Yeah.
Through something you had the courage to do first too, and then gave opportunity for them to have the courage to do.
Yep.
Right. And that's absolutely beautiful. I love that. And that's changing the world in warp speed, right? In light speed. So one, I just wanted to make sure you understood that we see that and that we know that. And I hope other people see that and know that too, how you did that and how you're doing that. And you did it straight organic, straight real and raw, just by showing up. Yep. And you said something which I think is huge. And I want you to, I'm gonna say it, but also I want you to guide the people listening on how to do this for themselves, right? And the courage it takes to do this. You said something where I was like, so many people are too afraid to do this. And they use like soft AI to not, right? Like they use ChatGPT to try to make everyone happy, which means no one's happy, right? And you said letting people unfollow you, unfriend you, right, snooze you, being able to say your message knowing that it's going to attract yours and repel others.
Yep.
Knowing that it's okay that you're going to be unliked. Right? Someone's like, Mike, I ran into someone that didn't like you. I'm like, I figured. Right? Like, you don't have to go far for that. Right? Hell, on some days you can ask my mom. Right? Like, she always loves me. Some days she doesn't like me. Right? Like, there's two different things.
True. That's true. I get it.
Right? So it's to have the courage to do that, to show up as yourself and let people decide for themselves. That's their job, and you're doing your job. And the courage to do that. Can you speak into that for a minute? And how do you get the courage to do it? And then how can others get the courage to do that too?
Yeah. So prime example, like I noticed, I very rarely do I look at like number of followers and things like that. Very rarely, but every now and then, probably about once a month, you got to check numbers, I mean, numbers tell everything. So it's kind of funny where I'm like, oh, I lost some followers. Oh, and I thought, you know what? They were probably tired of hearing about my book. Well, then they're not my people, so But it's funny because I was like, oh, and sometimes I'm like, who is even paying attention so much? I don't think I hardly ever go somewhere and like, I'm going to unfollow that person. It's like, I don't know. But anyway, I noticed like, oh, I lost some followers. Okay, well, I must be loving on my God too much and they're just not wanting to hear it. But you never know like where somebody is or what they're doing. The main thing that I can say, number one, is I don't focus on so many different platforms. I have profiles on other places, but y'all are in like my backyard here at the barbecue on Facebook. It's a big family and we're just a big party, and you're either coming because you can or you're not because you got something better to do. And that's how I look at it. It's I focus on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. If you're tired of seeing my face on Facebook, well, it's Facebook. So there we are. So that I keep that in my mind at all the time. It's a single platform. I'm just here, and I don't worry about all the other places trying to show up in a million places. If you find me here, there's enough people here on Facebook. That's going to probably be enough, right? But the other thing is when you get so focused on what you're here to do, and you're passionate about your work, and you're confident that no matter what, you will figure it out, no matter how many times that it takes. When your head's down and that kind of stuff, who cares who follows or who doesn't? Because the ones that are meant to be there with you along the way, they will be. So I would rather have 5 solid peeps in my corner than 5,000 that are, that it's more energy to carry people who don't really want to be there anyway. So I don't really focus on that part too much. I'm just genuine with how passionate I am about the work that I'm doing. And the numbers seem to follow that, I guess. So yeah, people are not going to always like you. In fact, I think you had to post the other day, and I said, yeah, people have actually talked about me and not liked me because I'm so positive. And I'm like, well, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. But there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like you for something. So.
Heck yeah. And listen, don't we want to get to that faster?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would we want people that at the end of the day isn't going to like us, respect us, show up for us? Why would we want them that close to us?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like you talk about God, I talk about God. Yeah. And whatever you believe, cool. There's a story about Jesus, and he had 12 disciples that changed the world, right? That's 13 people, right? It's like you can make big waves with small numbers, right? The thing is, it's like, and I always said this at the beginning too, they're like, you built a team so fast, you had so many people so fast. And I'm like, no, we did not. Yeah. Right? Like, we built a team, my team was me. Right? Like, me and my mom told me what I was doing was dumb, stick to the businesses, right? He's like, what are you doing right now? Like, stick to the business. The businesses work. Stick to the businesses, right? She's like, I know this stuff. What are you talking about doing this stuff? This stuff's weird to me. All right. It's like the first time I jumped into a space that like my mom didn't know a lot about. She was like, what is this? What are you doing? All right. Like, all these businesses work. Don't focus on this. And I was like, right, this is a for purpose. This isn't, the other ones were for profit at the time. Now we made everything for a purpose because my mom's like, die hard this now. Yeah. But I had to start talking about it and doing it first. Mm-hmm. Right. And then my mom saw it. She was like, oh, this is dope. Like, I like this. I'm in. Yep. Right. And then along the line, it was like this person. But that was time. Yeah. Like you talked about like 2014, right? Mm-hmm. Like 2011, right? I didn't know we were working towards this. Yeah. This is what we started working towards. Mm-hmm. Right. And we had events where single digit people showed up. Yeah. Yep. Right. And multiple, like people are like, no, I had one event. 5 people showed up. I'm like, Jesus, that was my 3rd event, right? Like, it's like, and my 4th had 7. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't get much better, right? And it was going through that, but you find people that will really rock with you, right? And that's so big because, like you said, you're human, right? Like, I'm going to mess up. Yep. You have seen me mess up, right? Grandly, right? Not even like a little bit. You see me fall on stage, but also you saw me mess up grandly, right? Like you've been around for some years, right? So you saw it, and and what happened was we built a relationship where it wasn't fake. So when I messed up, you didn't just be like, see a scumbag, start talking trash. You were like, you're better than this, and you're going to be, and I'll love you through it.
Yeah.
All right. And for that, I always appreciate, because I got to see that you were real. Right. And you communicated with me the whole time, exactly where you were, what you were doing, what you stood for, and being real about it.
Yep.
All right. And it was like, for that alone, respect.
Yeah.
Right. And by doing it, by being you, you give opportunity people to do that, come towards you, get away from you. What I don't want is people liking me, actually. Like is the worst thing on earth. Right? Because I know how quick we can not like something.
Yep. The moment the whatever it is you're actually after, or that you're actually wanting, doesn't go your way, the like goes away. So
yeah. All right. So it's like I always said, like, love me or hate me. Anyone in the middle is dangerous. And I don't like dangerous people. Right. So it was funny. I think we were at, I don't know which event it was, but there was a lot of people selling on stage. And I wasn't going to sell on stage.
Yep.
And I said, this is a freedom for me, because I don't need you to like me. Right? Because I'm not selling anything. I could just be blatantly honest with you. Right? So at the end of this, you're probably not going to like me. And that's okay. Because my mom loves me. Loves me. Unconditionally, amazingly loves me. Loves me when I shouldn't have had love. Right? Love me. Right? And like I said, she doesn't really like me, but she loves me. But let me tell you, my mom has said things at times I didn't like. Right. But I needed to hear.
Yep.
All right. So sometimes that happens in meaningful relationships. We have those kind of conversations that are tough to have. Right. Or say those things that we don't necessarily love.
Yeah.
But it's important to know so we can grow and move forward without getting hit too hard.
It is.
Right. And I want to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart. All right. So suicide and self-injurious behavior is near and dear to my heart.
Yep.
My mission is to end Michael Fabber's mission is to end suicide and self-injurious behavior.
Yep.
That's my mission. Everything I do now, I try to make where it's part of doing that. Right. For someone that's feeling that pressure of life right now, that might have lost it, that lost sight on their purpose and how important they are and what they mean just to many, and including just this life and world, if that's it. Right. What can you say to someone that's feeling that or in that position and questioning things that are important?
Yeah. That being your mission, I do want to share with those that are here, that was you offered such support to me at that time, because I have two sons who struggle with, at times, not really wanting to be here anymore. And if anything, that's the reality, that I have faith to like move mountains but you can't push that on somebody. You can't make somebody believe in something just because you do, no matter who they are. All right. So having struggled with that in my own home, having a son who I have had to talk off the ledge. That's what I call it. I've talked him off the ledge more times than I can count. And number one, you gave me the space to make it safe to be able to talk about from my perspective, because I didn't speak about it to anyone. So thank you for that, because when you say that family, and this is a purpose of yours, it's true and it's real. But in those moments, I can say that specifically my son, when it hits when he's tired, like really exhausted, when he's feeling alone, and you might feel like life is purposeless, I guess, like there's no purpose in it. And you might think that there's like no light at the end of that tunnel. And you might question why you're even here. Like you're just taking up space. And for me, what I've recognized is it really boils down to knowing that you're loved. People want to simply be accepted and loved. But still, you can't make somebody feel a certain way. But how can you express love? All right. If somebody's feeling really, really low, one of the questions that I would ask is, how do you show someone that you love them? because chances are that's what they need most. They just don't, because they're so used to giving and giving and giving and feeling like like they're not worthy of receiving anything back. One of the questions that I always ask is how would you make that person feel loved? And based on and I would ask my son, like, what do we need to do for this person? I would always use his brother, because them two as brothers, I think, have kept each other alive more than me. It's amazing to have two sons that really didn't want to live when life got as hard as it did, but they held on for each other, not necessarily for me. They couldn't imagine what would happen with the other if they were all gone. I mean, that's how much we talked about suicide. And I think we need to talk about it more, because it's in homes. Like, again, let's be real, right? So when I would say, like, how can you share with him that he's loved, that would make him not feel unseen or unheard? And based on what my one son would say for the other is what I knew he needed. So we would just kind of like start cycling that. But the reality is, it hits, you can't predict it. You can't plan for it when these moments are going to hit. You can be in the best day ever, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, it's dark in here really fast. And I think if we can just be kind and understand that, number one, you can't pray your way out of that. I have as much as my faith is there, when people try to tell me, well, your son is just suicidal because he doesn't pray enough, it's like, you don't even have a clue. He doesn't want to be this way. So to me, I just feel like we need to just love them, but we need to actually ask them, how do they show love to somebody else? Because they're going to, in that answer, tell you what they need in those moments. And it's up to us to give that to them. But we need to just talk about it more. It's not something that somebody is eating the wrong foods and so it's throwing them off balance. It's not somebody that like isn't praying hard enough. It's not, I mean, you can't cover it up. Like, these are just real things that we're dealing with. And I dealt with guilt, and I'm going to share this. I dealt with guilt as a mom, that sometimes I was so exhausted. I was so drained physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, myself. But if it was a moment that I knew my son was coming in and he needed to talk, whether I was so ready for bed and had to be up in like 3 hours for work anyway, we were going to sit up. But I'll be honest, there were times I was resentful. I was angry, because I thought, we're going to have the same conversation that we've had a million times, and that we're going to probably have again, because it's the same conversation. It's the same. But we have to be patient, and we have to just love each other through it. But from the other side, yeah, sometimes you can be like, do we really have to do this right now? And it's okay to have those emotions too, but you can't plan for it. You don't know when it's going to hit. But the best thing that I can say is, in the next moment, how do you show someone else that you love them? Because in that moment, that's what we need to show those people, in their language, in the way that they know that they're being loved. Because that's all it is. We just need to know that we're loved.
So good. You're so good.
That was a long answer.
As long as it's good. And yeah, I always say it like, it doesn't discriminate.
No.
You can be famous, not famous, rich, poor. You can be of God, of not, even though everybody is of God, just if you know it or not. Yeah. Right? It's not going to discriminate against you. Like, those things come to anyone and anyone. Right? And I love that you are on the train where it's like, we need to talk about this more. Mm-hmm. We need to have these conversations, because one of the big things is people feel like they're isolated, like they're alone.
Yeah.
No one gets it. No one understands. No one cares. Yep. Right. And it's because we were almost taught, like, society was like, you don't talk about these things. Mm-hmm. All right. It was so not talked about. You didn't even say you didn't talk about it. You just didn't talk about it. It wasn't like politics. You always say you don't talk politics, which we should go back to. But I would love that much more. But it's this was like, you don't even talk about that. You don't talk about it. Kind of talk about, right? Mm-hmm. And there were so many misconceptions and misideas about it that even people that were feeling it, you felt shame and embarrassment, so you wouldn't say it. Because two of the biggest things, my mom is huge into the mental health space. She has 2 doctorates in the mental health space, right? And she always says, like, isolation and burden. They're 2 of the big things that go into self-harm.
Yeah.
Right. And those are the 2 things we can do something about.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, one of the reasons why I always preach community is no, you're not alone. Right. Like, you're not alone. We're in this together. What do we got to do? I want to be. And that's the other part with burdenship. You can't burden me with something I want. I want to be there for you. Right. Like, I want to be there. There's a reason why my phone number, even though some days I don't like it, is put on Facebook for people to see, right? Yeah. You know how many crank calls I get? It's weird. Right?
No, but do you know how long it took me to even know that? I was like, how do I get a hold of you? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm thinking I'm not on the special people's list because I don't have your number. And you're like, it's right there on my profile. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's public. Because I want you to know, I want you to contact me. If something's up, you're not alone.
Yeah.
All right. Like, we got you. So I really appreciate that. You've been killing it. We've been going an hour. I want you to do a couple things for me. One, I want you to tell people, one, your next online event and then your next in-person event. What do they look like? What are they about?
Well, first of all, tonight, okay, for anybody that's interested, tonight I am debuting a new show that I'm bringing to Prospera TV Network, and it's for my book, but it's behind the lyrics. So we're going to break down chapter by chapter each week, but we're going to break down the song and kind of talk about the lyrics behind it and deeper story that didn't really make the book. So that's happening tonight. And how I'm doing it is I'm doing it live. Thank you. I'm doing it live stream starting at 8:30 and Eastern. And why is it so late? Because this is chill time. Like, I love talking about the heavy stuff. So that's better at night. Like, let everything calm down. So we're going to go live and then the show will re-air on the network later. But this coming Saturday, we have Jingle All the Way, an online small business expo. And it's just to highlight other small businesses. And that's on my page too. I just do everything through my page. But honestly, the fun thing that we have going on right now is called Crowned Christmas Countdown. And it's a raffle and a silent auction. So you can raffle like $1 ticket, $5 tickets. And every day I'm drawing a winner of just different things. But we have high ticket items. We have items that you can auction on. We have retreats. We have a speaker spot at the Surrender to Rise Live. We have a 1-year show host package on Prospera TV Network. Like, these are high ticket items, and some of them are starting as low as like $450, and they're like $3,000 value. So that's fun, and that's going on like every day. There's something new going on in that Crowned Christmas Countdown, and that was one of those. I was like, this is either genius or crazy, but we're doing it. So.
Might be both. Who knows?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So that's what we got
awesome.
going on right now.
I'm really excited to be at your event, your in-person event in this fall, I believe.
September. Surrender to Rise Live is in Arlington, Texas, September 24th through the 27th. That is my next large event, and let's go. Yes.
Can't wait. I'm excited to be there and just take in the greatness that you're going to put together and the people you're going to bring together. I can't wait just to be there and be poured into. And just see what it's all about.
Yeah.
If someone's like, how do I get a hold of you? How would you suggest to get a hold of you?
Well, if they're watching this streamed on Facebook, just message me on Facebook. Otherwise, you can go to like showyourcrown.com. That's really the easiest. Show Your Crown Enterprises is my main, like God said, show your crown. And so to me, that's your hot mess self, your excellence, like all of it. So showyourcrown.com is the easiest to just, you can find me through that.
Nice. I didn't put that on Facebook though. So no, I put that on YouTube. All right, good. And hopefully Twitter. Okay. I put that in the chat, so hopefully people can see that. Elena, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. The last question I always ask everybody: you have one quote or phrase for the rest of life to be known for and have your name behind that someone needs to hear, or do you think is impactful, someone that can change their life? What is that for you?
It's mine, and it's healing is the foundation dreams are built upon. And no matter what it is you're trying to build, if that foundation is not solid, it will crumble time and time again. So to me, to build a strong foundation, you got to go through the ugly stuff of actually healing. So that's my quote. Healing is the foundation dreams are built upon every day.
I love it. So true. Thank you, Elena, so much for joining us. You are awesome. I have your book. Definitely recommend getting it. It's phenomenal. You're phenomenal. Thank you so much for being part of the Blue and Green and being here and taking your time and speaking to us. I'm speaking for everyone that stopped by, everyone that was here. You definitely impacted us and changed our lives today by taking the time to do so. So we greatly appreciate and love you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone that stopped in. Thank you for everyone that commented that made this better. You guys rock too. I can't wait to see your little chill tonight.
Yeah.
8:30
Yep.
Eastern. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, you know the deal. Long live the Unleashed.
Thank you, everyone.